Hey guys, welcome to Jen's Lemonade Life. So it has been 2 years since my divorce. Around the 1 year anniversary, I posted a video with a lot of heartfelt, soul-searching tips that I wanted to share, and I would still love for you to check it out if you haven't and share with others, because I feel like there's a lot of things I should have known, but it's what I wish I'd known for being married. So this video, now that I'm 2 years into divorce, I feel like I'm kind of in a stable place. And actually a counselor that I was seeing around the time of my divorce said, don't make any serious decisions for 2 years after a major life event like divorce. And I thought that was interesting. I also thought, man, that sounds like forever. But you know what? The time has come and gone, and I have done a lot of adventuring and learning and wishing I was somewhere else and figuring out what direction to go in my life. So I'm grateful for the journey, and I'm happy where I'm at right now. And yeah, let's just get into what I wish I'd known before I got divorced, now that I have more perspective. One of the things that I learned early on in divorce was how surprised I was that the weight was lifted. There was just a lot of, obviously, negativity. You don't get divorced because you're happy. But I think I expected more sadness. I think I even had a counselor that felt like I should have grieved more, but maybe that just was in the long drawn out process of things. But I was surprised by how much weight I felt lifted. Not that that's why you should get divorced, is because, oh, times are hard. But that's, you know, between you and your spouse and the good Lord about what decision you should make. I never expected to be in what I call the Divorcee Club. I actually meet every Sunday still after about 2 years. I meet up with a group of 2 other gals and 2 of kids that belong to one of the gals. Every Sunday night we get together and we have dinner and we play board games, and we see each other throughout the week as well. And we are there for each other, you know, helping with kids, helping with the pets, helping with garden, and just being there for each other. I never expected that. I'm just like, what is this, the First Wives Club? What is this nonsense? I didn't really think about seeking out people like that. I guess also because I think, well, maybe they just might be bitter and bring you down. But it's just, the Lord brought me to them. It was at a church activity for women, and I sat down at this table and I was just like, yeah, I just got divorced, and oh yeah, I just did too, and oh, I'm going through that process, and automatically like built-in friends who understand the struggles. And I'd say we're pretty positive people and help each other get through it. So like people attract, especially where I don't have family near me. It's been really great to have that support system. One thing that I did not expect about divorce is how much you miss companionship. Emotionally, physically, even if you were at a distance in your relationship before you split, it's not the same. You don't have someone to talk to. It's very quiet. I find myself constantly listening to like videos on YouTube and movies and that kind of stuff, just to have that background noise. And sometimes you just wish you had someone to cuddle up to, which is great that I have my dog. So that was one thing that I guess really took me by surprise, because it's not like, you know, I was constantly being bombarded with the attention that you would normally crave. By far the hardest thing is starting over, figuring out, who are you? What do you want? Where are you gonna go? I mean, I've been the person that I planned my life, and even though it didn't go, you know, I wanted to marry young, I wanted to have kids, I wanted to homeschool them, I wanted to do this, I had a job on the side, and like none of that happened as I planned. That's been a really hard thing for me, kind of faith and figuring out in my headspace where to go with that. So just starting from square one and be like, I last several years I had set aside to just work until I became a mom, and then it didn't happen. So then I had to figure out, what am I doing? So right now I am working a job that affords me the opportunity to travel. Definitely taking advantage of that. Isn't my life's passion. I mean, travel's fun, but the actual job that I do, not my life's passion. So I do want to go back to school looking into it, contacting a couple of different colleges that I'm considering to get my master's and actually go back for counseling, because I know mental health is important and I know how much counseling has done for me and how much it could do for so many other people. So that's one thing that I figured out, FYI. But just stepping back and just being like, oh, let's take all those plans that I've written down and just kind of crumple them, say, where do we go from here? One thing that I did not factor in is, okay, first of all, I'm a bit of a pack rat, as was my ex. So moving from having a fully equipped home where we were planning on having kids and we had a yard and garden and all this stuff, to like living in someone else's house or being in an apartment or sharing with other people. You know, most of my kitchen stuff is still in storage because my roommates and I kind of share what's in the kitchen. I guess I didn't realize just how much stuff. And I've decluttered a lot. You can see those videos on my channel. I decluttered a lot, but you just have a lot of stuff. You just have a lot more stuff when you're married and you kind of have different goals than when you're single. And I know there are a lot more that I could go through, but the last one that I'm going to mention right now, because that's what I've written down on my phone, is escaping the name. As a woman, and a woman in a country where you take on the man's name, and you know, there's a whole like, oh, feminist, modern, whatever. Like I wanted to take on his name and I wanted to go back to my maiden name. And if I remarry, I will want to take on his name. That's just how I am. But changing the names is really hard. It's been 2 years and I finally got my credit card companies, not that I'm debt free now, if you've watched those videos, but I still keep them for the credit score. I took 2 years to get them all changed, and I still have so many like email accounts and random subscriptions, and I see that last name pop up and I'm just like, oh, I will never escape it. I will never escape that. It's gonna take so many years to finally get around to finding all the places where my name is listed under my old married name. So that, it's a hassle. That's one thing I didn't really think about, but it is what it is. There are much worse things that could happen. So I know I'm being a little lighthearted about this. Divorce is not something that I take lighthearted. I felt that it was really weird when I was going through my divorce, and the people that would congratulate me, which I understand, like, you know, congratulations, good on you for getting out of a bad situation, good on you for moving on in your life, but I would never say congratulations. Like, that's just weird. That's weird to me. It's more of an I'm sorry kind of thing. I'm sorry, but good on you. There can be a combination there. Anyway, that's just my perspective. Like I said, I'm sure I'm missing some things that I just didn't jot down, but those are some big things that I've run across since divorce that I thought I would share. If anyone is considering divorce, I'm not the person to talk to. I'm not a counselor yet, but I definitely do recommend seeing a counselor. Before marriage, during marriage, after marriage, when you breathe, because it's important to get that third-party perspective, because your reality bubble is not always how the world is. You just don't understand that. So I recommend counseling for sure. And I feel like my advice also on this and my perspective is definitely more varied than even my last video about things before marriage, because divorce I feel like is even more unique than marriages, if that makes sense, because I did not have kids. We didn't have kids. We weren't able to. You know, my friends that have kids, their divorce is vastly different because they have to go through the whole custody thing and possibly constantly being connected with your ex. As hard as infertility was, yeah, there's a silver lining. So, you know, some people have that. Some people have very amicable relationships, but some people are just ugly about it. So it really depends. But for me, that's my experience. I hope someone finds this useful. Definitely check out my other video. I think that has more perspective and probably something I should remind myself about as I get into dating. I definitely need to read some more books, kind of figure things out about how to read people, about how to communicate. So Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to subscribe. Check out my other channels down in the description below. And also, I have an Amazon shop. So if you shop on Amazon regularly, feel free to hit up through my link and then make your purchases. And that would really be awesome because it could help support this channel. So